I'm Leen Peeters, I'm from Belgium, and I'm an expert on energy and smart grids. So I'm part of the advisory group on energy of the European Commission. I'm the technical coordinator of the Smart Cities project in Amsterdam and Grenoble called Citizen, and of the Smart Grid Storage project Story. And I own a company that does kind of the very low TRL level concepts on energy and energy systems for neighborhoods. Well, today you have a system where there is one party, whether it's a distribution grid operator or a supplier of energy or an aggregator, that handles everything, and you don't have any insight in your data. You're not an active participant. And if we want to change that, then transparency and fairness become very, very important. If they don't know how their data is handled, if they don't know who their data handles, if they don't have the direct insight in their data, they won't change their behavior. So in that sense, it will make a much more influential person of the end consumer in the full chain. So that will be rather disruptive. Multi-energy, first of all, is the future, and peer-to-peer is going to be the future as well, because if you have a local energy network, there are sometimes problems on a local network that you cannot solve on a higher network. If there are problems on a higher network, the local network can generally help, but local congestion is not something you can solve differently besides adapting your behavior or local exchange of energy. Blockchain for most energy companies is far away from what they're currently working on, but the local exchange of things that is coming up. In the Netherlands, you have a big push towards USEF, which is really markets in the energy market on different levels. Peer-to-peer is something you start to see being experimented by local DSOs throughout Europe, so it's definitely coming. But they use their local current management systems for that. We've been to a certain big energy supplier in Denmark, and they still used very old methods to do their grid management, which is very common. The switch, the transformation to a new system is what we also saw today. It's something that we will first have to demonstrate, and as soon as they see the added value of that and they see they can plug in their existing stuff in that, or the transformation to something new is feasible, then it will happen. But it's up to the blockchain community to push that, because it's not going to come from the other side. One of the things we're preparing with a company in blockchain is a microgrid, an industrial microgrid, which will have no gas supply, but they need heat, they need cold, and they need electricity. So the idea is to share the investment cost of that infrastructure and put the PV panels distributed over the different roofs, have local heat pumps, and then the moment when you start to supply your heat to the system or take heat from the system, that will really define how much we need to invest in, for example, storage, thermal storage, electrical storage. So that means that the peer-to-peer exchange becomes really, really important. It's not only I give you energy, but the price of the energy that I give to you will also depend on when I give it to you, and when we have solar radiation or when there is excess thermal energy. So with today's energy system and the accounting system connected to that, multi-energy systems are really, really difficult to enforce, but also the local exchange will have to go through the full system, and there's one supplier of heat, there's one supplier of cold, there's one supplier of electricity. When we have the full system, we can play with that inter-energy market, which is much more beyond what you say, just peer-to-peer exchange. And that's what we're going to try to do with the blockchain, and see whether it works, and hopefully demonstrate it works.